Now to the Republican race. Reince Priebus is the chairman of the Republican National Committee, and he joins us from party headquarters. Welcome, Mr. Chairman. Donald Trump seems to have a pretty simple charge in the case he's making, which is the person who gets the most votes should get the nomination. Why is that wrong?
Well, I mean, it's a majority country. It's a majority rules party, and the reality is that having a plurality means that the field actually has a majority. So you have to get the majority of delegates in order to be the nominee, and ultimately the delegates of our party, through the votes and participation in all the states, decide who the nominee of our party is.
I'd like to play a clip for you of something that Donald Trump said and get your reaction to it.
The Republican National Committee, they better get going, because I'll tell you what, you're going to have a rough July at that convention. You better get going, and you better straighten out the system.
Do you take that?
Not particularly. I don't know if it's hyperbole or positioning, but the truth is that there are facts, and the RNC doesn't have the power to change the rules between now and the convention. The rules were set years ago, and each state's delegate system was set in October of 2015, and it's up to the delegates at the convention to decide what they're going to do about rules, and it's up to each individual state over the next 4 years to decide how they're going to allocate delegates. So I don't take it personally, John, because when I kind of just rest in the truth, and you know, it matters when something is right and something is wrong to me.
But he has shown some ability to get his supporters exercised and energized when he says something like this. That's what I wonder if that gives you any pause.
Well, I mean, sure, it gives you a pause, but that's why I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to as many media outlets as much as I can to set the record straight that the rules have been set. The rules are set by each individual state. The RNC doesn't have the authority to change the rules, even if we wanted to, and that each candidate has to know the rules, learn the rules, and abide by the rules, and ultimately the majority will decide everything in Cleveland.
You've mentioned that the delegates are the ones who make the rules. It's all in their hands. Trump's complaint would be that some of these delegates who are coming in, that he's being snookered out of those delegates, that those delegates are not being picked through a fair process, so that while they may make the rules, the people who are actually going to Cleveland are getting there through a funny system.
Well, I mean, it's not really a funny system. There's two parts. I mean, and one part, there are delegates that are allocated to each candidate based on the outcome of each of these contests. So, like, for example, in Florida, Donald Trump won all delegates, 100%, even though he received about 55% of the vote. Those delegates are bound to Donald Trump no matter what. They could like someone else, but they're bound to vote for Donald Trump. Now, there's another part of the process, which is making sure that as a candidate, the people that are sitting in those seats are people that, once the process gets going, are friendly to your wishes and desires. That's a function of each campaign doing a good job in each of these states with grassroots activists in the party, because ultimately it's the grassroots in our party that have a lot of power at the convention over what the rules say and what the committee work is, and that's just a relationship issue in each of the states.
Do you think Donald Trump is just not very good at that second stage part of this process?
No, I don't. It's not a matter of good or bad. It's just a matter of the facts being that each campaign has to go into each of these states and work with the party and the grassroots if they want to have, you know, 100% of everything they want to have happen. They have to be 100% committed to each of these states and how they select delegates.
Donald Trump's ally, Roger Stone, who's worked with him over the years, has threatened to send out the room numbers of any delegate who's pledged to Trump on the first ballot but then switches. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's not helpful, and it's not. I don't find it to be an appropriate threat. And I'm committed to making sure that the delegates have a great week, that they have a fun week, but a constructive week and a safe week. And we're going to do that. We're going to have plenty of security, plenty of protection for all the delegates. We'll be prepared. It'll be a great convention. It'll be a historic convention. And either way, whether we have a presumptive nominee beforehand or at the convention, it's going to be And I know that everyone here understands that we're watching American history.
All right. Chairman Priebus, we thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, John.
Up next.